A girl tried going out without underwear for the first time, only to find a sleazy man leering at her. She felt a wave of nausea and unease, anxiously tugging at her skirt, but the man didn't back off. Instead, he walked straight up to her. The sudden intimidation left her at a loss. Seeing her lack of resistance, his behavior became even more brazen. In the train car, a girl noticed something was wrong and secretly took photos with her phone. Unfortunately, the camera shutter alerted the man. He thrust out his arm, demanding she hand over the phone, claiming she violated his rights. Under his threats, the girl had no choice but to comply. The other passengers in the car all turned their heads away indifferently, letting the man delete the photos, even throwing the phone hard on the ground. Just as the girl was picking up her phone in distress, a woman stepped forward.
Well, then what's this?
When the man saw Annie, his face showed an even sleazier grin, thinking she was also taking photos. But Annie's response sent him into instant panic. "I'm live streaming." As soon as she spoke, more and more women in the car stood up. They all pulled out their phones, cameras aimed at the man. His arrogance instantly vanished. When the train arrived at the station, police were already waiting outside. After this incident, Annie and the rescued girl became friends and agreed to have dinner together Wednesday night later. Annie went to student Curly's home to tutor him, but didn't expect to go. This would be the beginning of her nightmare to transfer some files. Curly casually grabbed his father's USB drive. His father's expression changed dramatically, telling his son it contained private files, but it was too late. Annie had already plugged the USB into the computer. The content that appeared on screen made her expression freeze instantly. The father wanted to explain, but Annie stopped him. She wanted to talk privately. After Curly left the room, Annie said with a trembling voice, "The subjects in the USB were all underage children." The pastor couldn't believe it and came forward to look. When he saw the content clearly, he was completely stunned. He immediately explained the items weren't his son's. The church supervisor gave them to him last night for safekeeping, but Annie wouldn't listen. She insisted on calling the police immediately, seeing he couldn't convince Annie. The pastor lied and said they were his, but this clumsy lie was instantly seen through by Annie. She was certain the pastor's only reason for lying was to protect his son. She angrily prepared to leave and call the police, but the pastor desperately blocked her. This sudden action made Annie extremely panicked. She pulled out her phone pretending to live stream, but the pastor knew her too well. He grabbed the phone and smashed it on the ground. Annie didn't dare stay another second. She turned to call for help, but the pastor clamped his hand over her mouth, not wanting his son upstairs to hear the commotion. In the chaos, he opened the wooden door behind him and pushed Annie into the dark basement. Looking at the motionless woman below, the pastor was instantly consumed by fear. He couldn't let her go, but couldn't bring himself to kill her either. After much deliberation, he decided to lock the door. His wife was furious when she learned about this, thinking her husband had gone mad. But thinking of their son's future, she was forced to calm down to prevent Annie from escaping. The pastor went to the basement, only to see Annie holding a hammer, trembling in the corner. Annie warned the pastor her dinner appointment with the girl was the deadline. Once she went missing, police would quickly come knocking. She held out her injured arm, telling him, "Every corner of this basement was covered with her blood and fingerprints."